What I am standing in right now is the first ever ZOE'S Lab Halloween design. Specifically, the lab office being decorated for Halloween. That is right, guys. Today, 5 years ago, on October 21st, 2015, this very room design was created. Now, of course, we aren't just gonna celebrate this. No, not only that, today is not just that. Since this was the first ever time ZOE'S Lab was decorated, and this was actually in the exact world of ZOE'S Lab 2 that you still know and love today, but today is not only that, it is also the 5th anniversary since our first ever ZOE'S Lab Halloween party. That is right! It all began as a yearly tradition on this day 5 years ago on Wednesday, October 21st, 2015. Woo! Man! That is a long time. And yes, Whiskers is around here, which obviously means I am right here in the creation world. Because obviously, this was the only way I was able to get back into this room. Obviously, that could have been clearly obvious. I mean, come on, that was literally the only way I was able to get that shot there. You know, that camera shot there was to go back into the creations world 2 days after I made the last episode and just, you know, go in here to get that specific shot. I mean, like, you would have already found it obvious because Whiskers was, you know, rolling around here, so that would have already been obvious. But that being the point, you know that, right? So now that you know that this was taken in the creations world for pretty obvious reasons, you can even tell because of the sign right next to me over there, which you saw a few weeks back. We're not just going to celebrate this beautiful design becoming a reality 5 years ago today, but I'm also going to show you guys the history of the ZOE'S Lab 2 Halloween parties. Well, actually, all of them. Like, all 5 of them. Well, I can't specifically tell you 2015. I guess I can give you visual screenshots. Well, I don't even have any pictures or videos of the 2015 Halloween party. All we have is pretty much this design right here. Yep, that's pretty much it. Oh, and right, we also have the Haunted Mine and the Secret Halloween Room here in this world as well. So I can go show you around those, show you how they originated, and pretty much everything else. And then the rest of this will pretty much all be video footage. Because, believe it or not, I don't have the rest of the footage here in this world. So the rest will all have to be video footage from my channel. But first, just want to say, it is actually true. It really has been 5 years since the first ever ZOE'S Lab Halloween party. And in fact, speaking of that, the 2020 Halloween party is actually tomorrow, believe it or not. I know I said I was going to release it today, a day early, but then I realized I still haven't showcased the Western party yet, and I am going to later today. But in a kind of a different form because for some reason it's still not letting me in. So I have another idea. You'll find that out later today. The point being, let's showcase what the 2015 Halloween party technically would have been, but inside the creations world, because I don't have any footage or pictures of it. All I know is I remembered it all by memory, and here we go. And then again, the way I said it would be all video footage from the next view. And yeah, that's awesome, right? So right here, as you all know, it's this beautiful design right here. This was the lab office in 2015 on October 21st through November 1st. As you can see, obviously, these signs were not a joke, it's actually true. October 21st, 2015 is when the ZOE'S Lab 2 Halloween 2015 lab office. And this is the exact design from exactly 5 years ago. Of course, we got the candy station here, which is filled with nothing, although I think back then it was. And over here, this originally would have led to the secret Halloween room, but here in the creations world, it's a little bit far away. So I'll take you there the haunted mine. And yes, Whiskers is still following us around. That's cool. Yep, I remember this redstone torch being here. They're actually, oh my god, I just fell down there. Actually, right where this redstone torch was, and I think it was actually right here originally, there was actually a ladder here. Obviously, the reason why it ain't there is because this is just the lab office design. That's really it. So, yep, this was the exact design from 5 years ago today. I still love it. It's the exact same one. And I'm glad I was able to be back in here exactly 5 years after creating it. Next up, let's move on to our next room. And I'll pause in between, because it's a little ways away from here. In order to get there inside the creations world, first open up the elevator, close it, and then go this way directly to the secret Halloween room. That's how you get there for the creations world. Like going down here, you will see the original staircase, and here is the original room from exactly 5 years ago, which originally was actually inside the lab office that I just showed you earlier. However, of course, because this world is a flat world, it obviously was completely impossible to obviously put it down there because, again, impossible. Also, in the creations world, I wanted it to be its own separate creation because I realized how big it was, and yeah, that's another reason. Right here, we have the secret Halloween room, and there is a lot to say about this room. Like, a lot. So, right here, this was behind here. Well, obviously this didn't exist here because that's the haunted mine for the creations world, of course. And actually, we'll get to there in just a minute. Because that's the third thing here. Now, although the skyscraper we still have yet to create, I will show you that in the footage in a few minutes. But yep, it is true. Right here. And I'll have to go to 2018's video to find the correct footage. Because none of the other ones before that doesn't. Anyway, the point is, the candy station was right here once again. Obviously, the DJ booth was here. We had chairs going all the way through here at this screen, or just painting. Well, it's technically a painting, but we call it a screen here in this room. We had one of the Halloween gift box surprise screens, and by the way, those are indeed, yes, returning in tomorrow's ZOE'S After Halloween Party 2020, but there's going to be a little bit of a surprise inside. Because there's actually going to be a lot more than you think with those, because those items will actually be featured on those. It's just, I don't remember what we put on here back then. The point being, the room here was quite cool. It was underneath the lab office in 2015, where we just were. So, well, not here in the creations world it isn't. But it is in the actual ZOE'S App 2 world, though. And yes, it obviously will come back tomorrow. In fact, I gotta reveal that to you tonight in the update video in the next 2 to 3 hours. Anyway, this is again the secret Halloween room. This was made also exactly 5 years ago today as well. Actually, everything I'm showing you in this video was made 5 years ago today. At least in 2015's perspective. In 2015's perspective, I'll then eventually tell you when we get to 2016 and all the other years. So yeah, that's going to be fun. Of course, obviously, we'll have the staircase to go right back up. And we'll make our way to the next room. The next room in 2015's Halloween Party that was introduced 5 years ago today as well is something we just made 2 days ago, believe it or not, but you didn't see the video till yesterday. It is the Haunted Mine. Now, of course, the track for it, obviously it isn't the original, at least the room isn't original. But right here, this was the exact tunnel. Let's go down, make our way here. This room is the exact same one from 2015, although some very minor changes, aside from a few small parts that weren't there originally. As you can see, the Haunted Mine looked exactly like this, although I'll give you a better perspective of that tomorrow in ZOE'S App 2. But it's cool to see that because this room was also created 5 years ago today alongside the secret Halloween room. That's cool, right? Well, that is true. So this whole room right here was created on this day 5 years ago. Of course, the track here in the Creations world obviously does feature a different track, and for why not, let's ride it again. Even if this is just a completely custom-made track, only known for the Creations world, it's nice to ride it again, and I would not be kidding with you guys, this does still do in lead, it does indeed lead into the secret Halloween room. Let's see if we can try and put that minecart back. Go. Hey! Let me catch that! Ah, who am I kidding? No point, honestly. Let's move on. Oh, well, what do you know? It actually made it back here, surprisingly. Now let's see if we can get this other one back up. Oh, wait, right, requires us to push. And push! There we go. Anyway, those are 3 main elements already added in from 2015, but the final one will be done by video footage. In fact, the rest of this video now, after this point right here, will be video footage. But of course, I'll be talking over the footage, just so it makes it a lot more easier to understand what I'm trying to say here regarding all of these rooms and parties regarding Halloween. Let's do this. Oh, and one more thing. The 2015 Halloween party for ZOE'S 2 lasted from October 21st, 5 years ago today to be exact, and ended on November 1st, 2015. In fact, if you'd like to hear more info, I'll read this comment before going on to the next view, which will make it even easier for you guys to understand when you guys see the footage. Here's the comment I wrote. 5 years ago today, the first ever ZOE'S Halloween party began and has been a yearly event ever since. The 2015 Halloween party introduced us to rooms and activities we're all now familiar with in the present day ZO2 and ZO3 Halloween events. Rooms. 1. The secret Halloween room. 2. The haunted mine. And 3. The skyscraper. Which we were just in just now, so that could easily tell why I went in there. The activities included the candy stations, you may have saw 2 of those earlier, and also the graveyard, which we'll see in a minute. Here we go. However, in the later Halloween parties, more awesome rooms and activities came. 2016 brought us the mob invasion machine, the lab basement, the Halloween UFO, and a new haunted mine track. 2017 had nothing new if you're wondering. 2018 brought us the Halloween Fair. 2019 brought us Red Sand, Spooky Shrews, Halloween Recycling Plant, Slime Cave, and new haunted mine track after 3 years. Here's how long each Halloween party went for, including this year's. 2015. October 21st through November 1st. 2016, September 28th through November 3rd. 2017, September 27th through November 2nd. 2018, October 6th through the 29th. Originally meant to end November 3rd, but the ZL3 world stopped loading up on October 29th. 2019. October 17th through November 2nd. And finally, 2020 from October 22nd and will end November 6th. I'll reveal the whole Halloween party 2020 for ZL2, ZL3, and the backyard in today's update video. That should summarize it for you guys, just in case any of you are curious now. Now, let's get back to the vid. Just wanted to mention this because you guys will hopefully now understand what you'll be seeing throughout the rest of the video. Let's do this. Ah yes, the 2016 Halloween party. This was 4 years ago from September 28th through November 3rd, 2016, and featured way more than 2015 Halloween party. Now, that comment that I wrote earlier that you just saw was not a joke, because literally everything I said in that comment is actually featured in all 4 of the other Halloween parties. Granted, the one tomorrow will be the 6th annual Halloween party. Now, you'll notice you already see some stuff that was actually said in that comment. Note as the mob invasion machine and many more things. So, here are all of them. But I just realized I forgot to feature the skyscraper from 2015. My bad. I forgot I told you I was going to say that. Anyway, this is footage actually from 2018, but the thing from 2015 actually still remains in this party. The point being is that, yep, see, that same lab office still retains in the Halloween Party 2018. Oh, okay, the ladder was actually there. Yep, this was here, as you could notice in the footage. This was originally the 2015 skyscraper room for the fireplace room. In the room, you could easily see that you had to put out a fireplace. Now, of course, this mainly was just a chill room in here in the skyscraper, but eventually, a few years later, mainly literally a year later, we changed it into a challenge where you would indeed have to put out the fireplace. Now, even though this is a original classic room from the 2015 Halloween party, in the 2018 Halloween party, we actually put in a challenge. Now, although here in the potion lab room, the maze part actually never existed, it was just the potion lab itself, and yep, that's something. The Enrod maze didn't exist either, but it was just the, purple trees. And of course, as you probably would have noticed in the 2015 skyscraper, the final room would be the battlefield for Halloween. And that's pretty much all you needed to know about the skyscraper, believe it or not. Now back to the 2016 Halloween party. Let me first put in my screen. There we go. The mob invasion machine was not a joke. It actually was introduced in the 2016 Halloween party and has been coming back to every Halloween party ever since. You can still see things such as the candy stations, the graveyard, which was in 2015, and the Halloween gift box surprise stuff. Also, this was the first Halloween party to feature the special lab being decorated. And fun fact, they have actually never been decorated for Halloween ever since. Well, come tomorrow when they actually will be decorated again after over 4 years. Impressive! Being the first and only Halloween party to have the special labs decorated, but that's about to change starting tomorrow, it'll be nice to actually decorate them again. I'll also make sure to change them up in a completely new way. But besides that, you'll find that out tomorrow or on Friday, considering how long it'll take me to even make the whole thing. But I don't even know. The point being, and let me just skip to some other footage so I can show you what I'm talking about. The UFO itself was indeed decorated then. And for literal proof, the comet wasn't a joke. It is true. Yep, it wasn't a joke. The Halloween UFO did first appear in the Halloween Party 2016. It was really cool. Oh, and one more thing. This is how the Haunted Mine actually looked originally. Here, this is the exact look of the original Haunted Mine. So there is your actual proof of the Haunted Mine. This is how it exactly looks like. The one you just saw was in the Creations world. This is exactly how it looked, and in 2016, the track was updated for the next 3 years until we decided to change it again in 2019. Yep, in 2016, we updated the Haunted Mine track to give it a new look. However, after realizing we used the same one for over 2 years straight, granted 2018 was the only year Haunted Mine did not exist in the party, and the Haunted Basement also made its first appearance. In fact, actually, I wasn't kidding. The Haunted Basement, well, the lab basement, was where literally everything happened. In the room, you had to do many cool things. You actually got to light up the whole lab basement, and that's exactly how it looked. I tried recreating it in 2019, however, unfortunately, the secret Halloween room was in the way, so I had to position it a little bit straightforward. Besides that, this was also, believe it or not, one of the 2 Halloween parties that the secret Halloween room did not exist in. The other was 2017. But then in 2018, it came back and has been there ever since. In fact, actually, the secret Halloween room actually came back on November 29th, 2017 during the lab reboot after its corruption in November 2017. It's kind of funny that we're coming up to pretty much 3 years since that happened. Crazy, right? In fact, actually, that design right there that you see in the background, that was only made in 2016 and was never brought back since, and will not, because it's it's cool. It's just I didn't really feel like bringing it back. Besides the point, you guys get the idea. This was the whole thing. It was awesome. Believe it or not, actually, 2016 featured way more rooms than 2015. At first, the lab was quite small, so not many rooms were decorated. In 2016, which some of these were brought back in later Halloween parties such as 2017 and 2019, you gotta agree, it was actually so cool. And I wish we could do these types of rooms again. However, I already have plans to make all rooms different in tomorrow's 2020 Halloween party. Besides that, that's pretty much everything from the 2016 Halloween party. I really can't think of anything else to say about it besides it was way bigger than 2015, and 2017 almost looked exactly the same. How do I know? Well, let's move on actually. 2017's Halloween party played out almost exactly the same as 2016, aside from maybe a few room differences. But it pretty much played almost exactly the same. There were only maybe like 1 or 2 room differences, and that was pretty much it. Everything else pretty much looked exactly the same from 2016. There was pretty much no difference, besides the fact that the challenges didn't come up on the right day, on the first day. A fun fact, this Halloween party started on September 27th and ended November 2nd, 2017. Like I said before, there were only a few small room differences. There was only like 1 or 2 or 3, and as you can see in the footage, this was actually a ham by Rose Crystal actually. Well, she didn't upload the video until the 2nd day. And also, yep, like I just said, the challenges weren't up on the 1st or 2nd days, but they were up on the skyscraper later on. Did you know that 2015 also, again, was also the introduction, or whatever you call it, but it introduced the skyscraper. If I haven't already told you that yet. I'm pretty sure I have, but if I didn't, I just wanted to remind you again. The point being, it pretty much played exactly the same as 2016, aside from 2 or 3 room differences, and yeah, like, I'm actually not kidding. It did. And you'll see in a minute what I mean. And yes, before any of you are curious, is the skyscraper returning in Halloween Party 2020? What kind of question is that? Of course it is. And yes, that is proof that this is Rose Crystal's footage right here. Because she was the only one who could actually film the event because I couldn't get in at the time. Just like how I still can't now. Thank God, I thought we felt that land problem was fixed, but it isn't just yet. It was like fixed for like 3 weeks and then it just stopped again. That was actually sad. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that was different actually. Yeah, that was different. Yeah, if you guys actually see, yeah, see, look, that's different. See, that wasn't in 2016. In fact, the recycling plant didn't even come till 2017, so that's new. Okay, so there's the only difference in this Halloween party was that there's only like a few new rooms. That's really it. Well, a few rooms had new designs. That's what I mean, and I mean only around maybe like 3, which were the outside, the front of the lab, and the lab office. That's it. Pretty much everything else was exactly the same. because you could easily recognize it. You could easily recognize that pretty much all of this was the same and copied and pasted from 2016. I don't know what was going on, but it was actually still cool. But this year I'm not going to do any of that. I'm actually going to make brand new rooms. Also, speaking of the balcony here, it was first decorated in the Halloween party in 2019, which we'll get to that later. The point being, this Halloween party featured not really anything new aside from 3 different designs. And yeah, you'll see in a minute what I'm talking about. Let's actually scroll to the UFO part, just so I don't bore you guys. There we go. You can see everything looks the same from the previous. It looks way too similar. That's one thing I had to complain about for this, although I created it all. I don't know why I reused all the rooms, but it was still cool. Still cool and fun no matter what. Also, this was the last year that the Haunted Mine was featured until 2019, because this 2018 was the only year it wasn't featured. Also, the track stayed exactly the same from 2016's Halloween party, so you can easily see it still looks the same from the previous year, but that was eventually changed in 2019 after a 2-year hiatus of the Haunted Mine. 2 years after, and when it came back, I changed the track completely in 2019, which we will see later. The point being is that this was the last Halloween party until 2019 to feature the Haunted Mine. And also, this was the second Halloween party not to feature the secret Halloween room, as it came a month after this party in the lab reboot, like the day before the Christmas party of that year. So that's something to know about. I'm also thinking of bringing back some of the quests, because that's going to be cool. Actually, the Halloween party this year does involve quests, so that's going to be fun. But as you might notice from all the rooms, just like the previous party, almost all the rooms have been reused, and we're still cool. It's just, I think it would have been better to, put in some new ones. Besides that, not really much else happened with this party. It pretty much was the same as the previous year, aside from a few room design differences. And that's pretty much all you need to know, actually, about the 2017 Halloween party. So, without further ado, 2018 changes everything, as it's actually not in ZOE'S Lab 2, it's actually in ZOE'S Lab 3. And believe it or not, there are a few changes. Actually, all the rooms are different, actually, because it's a different world. So, this is a complete change, and then 2019 also did the same thing, but a few rooms came back then. Besides that, let's head over to 2018 and see how that held up many years later. Oh, wait, that was only just 2 years ago, and this was 3 years ago. Who am I kidding? Okay, let's move on. Let's go back 2 years to 2018. Hooray! 2018. Wow. This was actually the first Halloween party to actually be in a completely different world. Aside from ZOE'S Lab 2. Also, let's see if I can get in that extra footage. There we go, got it! Right here. It looks completely different. Yes. There we go. Right here. That's what we like to see. Yep, everything was different in this party. Take a look. Although only one past room design returned. Actually, all of 2015's skyscraper rooms returned, but with small twists to fit in the 2016 challenges. But the great old favorite Halloween lab office design was indeed back. Once we get to that footage, I'll say it. Alright. Okay, So yep, I told you this was actually true. This is actually now how it fully looks. Footage and design from 5 years ago returns 3 years later in the 2018 Halloween party. And as you can see right there, I'm just pausing the footage there. As you can see, that is the exact entrance that I was talking about earlier to the secret Halloween room from 2015. Now we have the actual entrance. You'll notice many other things here that were there then, and it was just so freaking cool. Well, that's the footage. So basically, this party was pretty much completely different from all the other Halloween parties. It featured so many new rooms. Just only like 4? No, or 5 past rooms. That's it. That's really it. Nothing else. Alright. So, yeah. It still is true. 2018 did bring in a ton of new rooms, as I did say. Of course, it's the first time party since 2015 to feature the Secret Halloween room. And that's the original design before, everything, before all the blocks got redesigned, of course. And then there's the ladder. That, of course, would take us up there. However, as you could have noticed in this party back then, all rooms were different, and it was cool. Also, alongside this party, you could have clearly seen it by now, the fair games were added in this party. And it was also the first time to have the fair combined in with another party. In fact, actually, I think we're doing that again next year. Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to see, but it would definitely be with a different party. In fact, didn't the fair games come back in the 5th anniversary party this year? Oh yeah, they did. But it was not. It was just there, just for fun. But yeah, it was actually called the Halloween Fair. Actually, there's your proof. Halloween Fair 2018. Because this was basically based off of the Halloween Fair events. So yeah. Anyway, with all that being said, I'm going to cut some of this footage so we can just move on. Oh, my bad. There we go. There we go, finally! So yeah, as you could have noticed in this party, all rooms were new, and they look excellent. Wait, I created all of this, because I've created all the 5 Halloween parties. It just looks so cool and awesome. Of course, 2018 will be the first year since 2015 to feature almost all new rooms. And we're about to beat that record again tomorrow in the Halloween Party 2020. Yep, that's right. Believe it or not. We're actually going to get all new rooms tomorrow for the Halloween Party. It'll be the first time since 2018 to have some new rooms. I mean, like, pretty much all of them, of course. Pretty much all of them. Remains. 2019 also did feature rooms that were new, but not as many. And this was the part when I killed all the bats. But yep, I'll skip to the part where the skyscraper actually was true. Here we go, just for some proof. I skip to the skyscraper challenges so you guys can get the idea. And then I'll talk about the fair games. actually, I'll cut to when this actually was true. Alright, so in this, I combined the old room from 2015 into here to combine in with the 2016 challenges. And with that being said though, even though it did get a little bit destroyed, it actually looked so freaking cool. Next up though, for our next one. Alright, so our next challenge in this was, of course, the potion room from 2015, but it was combined with the 2016 maze. So, in this, we had to race from there all the way to the other side of the room. It was cool and it was interesting, and it made this party pretty dang fun, I must admit. 2018 also saw taking the original 2015, entry room and putting in the 2016 maze, end run maze concept, and turning it into a reality. That was actually cool, as it was a nice combination for each room. Now, trust me, if you thought that was cool, well, the last one is the only room from the skyscraper in 2015 actually be the original room, just like the fireplace room. Alright, talking about this one. Yeah, that was cool. And I mean super dang cool. That was probably the coolest thing I ever did out of all this. I'm planning on bringing back that balcony, actually. That was cool, right? That was extra cool. And wait a minute, can I get a full screenshot of that for a second? Wouldn't mind. Come on, give me a screenshot of that already! Aha! Guys, I found it. Just gotta get that screenshot really quick, and then I'll show you the other half of it. Dang it. Couldn't get it. Wait. Think we got it. Well, actually, that was the other part of the maze, by the way. Yup. There we go. That's what we like to see. Anyway, what was the other side of the party? Take a look. Well, the Mob Invasion machine did return for the third year in a row, which was actually pretty dang cool, because it really did show that it actually is true. We could, and did apparently, bring back everything from that party. However, of course, you probably noticed in this video, in the Fair 2018 video, that there were the fair games in this party, which again did bring back the twist of the cool awesomeness that was the Halloween Fair 2018. And also here was the original length right here, before the world here stopped loading. Yeah, so there we go. That's the other side of the party. That's what happened. And obviously, we played the fair games all around the lab, and it was so freaking cool. Of course, I built a prize booth actually to represent that the Halloween Fair was actually true, and this was so freaking cool. Now, of course, if we did go around the rest of the lab, let's actually see if I can find the footage. Where the heck is the footage? Oh, well, there's footage for this game. Where was the other piece of footage I can find? Oh, right here. So across the lab, the fair games were scattered around, and it was so cool. I know, right? Awesome. Alright, and the next one was over here, which was Lunar Lodge. Right. Cool, right? The library itself featured the Milk Challenge game, which I thought was also super cool. The meeting room featured, hold on, the footage would cooperate here. It was the Feed a Sheep game. It was actually quite fun, to be honest. And finally, in the TV and game room featured the Bummerbills game, which was a very cool game to obviously collect more tickets. But the difference was, because it was in the Halloween party, it was all in the dark. In fact, most of or all of these were actually in the dark because of this. And finally, 2019. Yeah, the last one, because we've not had another one ever since. 2019 was probably the most coolest and custom Halloween party we ever could make. I don't know how we're gonna beat it. Don't know how we're gonna beat the record next, or actually that's tomorrow, believe it or not, still. It was actually so cool because it featured everything from the last 5 Halloween parties. The Haunted Mine finally made a return after like 2 years, so that was cool. And fun at the same time. So, what happened here? Well, believe it or not, a lot did actually happen that you probably would think never would happen. So, let's see what happened in this party. Yeah, it was completely redone. All the rooms were redone. At least some of the outside rooms were redone. This was also the first Halloween party to have the balcony actually decorated. And it was so cool. So literally every Halloween activity from the last the last 4 years or so made a return in this party. It was just a success. All I gotta say is that it was a success. It truly changed Halloween parties for the better here in ZL2. And I know tomorrow's is probably going to be even cooler. Because there's going to be a lot going on. Like, a lot going on. Regardless of this. We changed up some 2017 rooms to make it look a lot more different compared to that. So we didn't use any copy and paste rooms. And that's what you exactly see in the footage right now. This was the last Halloween party to be held up until now, because of course, obviously, we haven't done the Halloween party yet for this year, which again, that's coming on the 22nd, which is literally a day from now as of filming. That's something. But really though, can I just tell you how freaking beautiful this event was? Right here. This was the 5th Halloween party to feature the graveyard, and this was the 4th Halloween party to feature the Abomination machine. Also, believe it or not, this was the first Halloween party to feature the spooky trees. It was also the first and only Halloween party to bring back, like, rooms from multiple years, instead of all just one single year. Which I also thought was so freaking cool about this. So, in reality, what else is there to say? Pretty much everything from the last 4 Halloween parties made a return, due to it being the 5th Halloween party ever. And I honestly don't even know what else to say. Truly don't know what else to say. It was just so freaking cool. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, this was the first and most likely only Halloween party to have the recycling plant decorated. I don't know how we'll come up with another one as good as this year. I honestly don't even know that one, actually, to be honest. But yeah, this was like the 5th Halloween party to also feature the skyscraper, and also brought back some elements from 2015 and 2018. But it was pretty much all brand new, actually. And yep, this had the record for the most rooms brought back from previous years. So yep, that is something else. Now what else was it? Mainly in particular, it was just to celebrate the last 4 Halloween parties that were held. But obviously with some new twists, of course, which obviously featured the return of the lab basement after 2 years, the return of the haunted mine after 2 years, and just so much more. What else is there to say? It was probably one of the best Halloween parties we ever did. It was just so freaking cool. Like, I honestly cannot describe to you how beautiful it was. Also, note that some rooms were redesigned to fit the modern theme. Well, this one stayed the same. Of course. Yep. The lab basement returned, but it was positioned a little bit differently thanks to the Halloween room. And of course, the skyscraper challenges came back like usual. It was cool and epic at the same time. It really showed how far back the skyscraper can go. And I mean, seriously. Couldn't you see it already? It was already so obvious. And as you know, past rooms did come back in this party from 2016, 2017. Well, actually, there was none in 2017 that came back. Rooms from 2016, well, from 2015, 2016, and 2017 because, well, most of the rooms were just reused in that year. But a lot of new ones actually came, which were actually pretty surprising. Now, of course, that wouldn't be it for actual footage, because of course, we still got stuff like this. Snowland was from 2015, and there were just so many other awesome rooms. Oh, and also, there's actually a second part to the video. And this featured more of the 2019 Halloween party. It just featured so much. Yep, that was awesome, right? Well, guys, that pretty much summarizes all Halloween parties pretty much. Like I said, tomorrow is the 2020 Halloween party. It's going to be an awesome one. Trust me, I know you guys will love it. And let me know below what you guys thought of this little history of each Halloween party. It was a really, really nice video to make. And I honestly cannot even explain. Whoa, did not mean that. Meant to do this. There we go. But yeah, it was a nice little summary of each Halloween party because it really shows how far back all of these go. And they just go so well. And yes, this room again did also feature new rooms as well. Just forgot to mention. But yeah, if you guys actually liked this video, let me know below what you actually thought of this. And just, it was just way too much fun to actually make this come out. I loved every bit of this. Oh, and did I mention that there was indeed a new Haunted Mine track for this Halloween party? Yep, it ain't a joke. This room was new too. It just featured so much. And this was honestly my favorite room in the whole party, honestly. One of them. And it was just so cool, right? Because it really does show how far back this goes. But one of my also all-time favorites was definitely the slime cave. And if we take a look at it now, it looks way too cool. So you can see this was probably the biggest Halloween party ever, as it featured so many awesome rooms and just so many great and fun parts overall that I honestly did not think I would do in one single party. So that's what made the party so cool. It was the last one to occur until tomorrow, the 22nd, because I still have to create this year's. Let me tell you, it was actually a success. Yeah, believe it or not, it was actually a success. You probably think it wouldn't be. But yeah. And this is when the balcony was decorated for the first time ever. That was actually a surprise. Yeah, it was the first time in 2 years the Haunted Mine returned. It's cool, fun, and interesting at the same time. So, what else do I really gotta say? Oh yeah, by the way, believe it or not, the Haunted Mine track was actually brand new in this party. So that was another key difference. A ton of stuff was new in this party. So much happened. Oh, it was just so much fun. A lot more creative than the previous Halloween parties that we ever did in the lab's history. I honestly cannot wait to see what I do for the Halloween Party 2020 tomorrow on the 22nd, as it's being filmed on the 21st, which would literally be the day before. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. I know if I did not make as much sense in the video, hopefully I did. But yeah, I actually want to see your comments and tell me what you actually think about this. Because talking about all 5 of these Halloween parties was awesome. If I did not make any sense in some of these, then I do apologize. I tried to make it as clear as possible, and trust me, this comment was not a freaking joke. It was true that all of this was here. And just for your proof again. Yeah, I told you, this comment wasn't a joke. Everything you see in this comment was featured in all of these videos. Yeah, they were all featured in these videos. That was cool, right? Well, thank you so much for watching, guys. That is pretty much it. I just want to say that you guys, tomorrow, when I do make the Halloween Party 2020, it's going to be so cool. And it's going to be awesome, right? Well, I guess we'll find out tomorrow when I create it. So, yeah, that's it. I guess we can just make our way back to the creations world and just, you know, end it off right here in this room. So yeah, it's all true that all those Halloween parties, although they all started on completely different days, but this was the day itself where it all began, where it all started for these events. And it was just so cool looking back. I will see you all later for a backyard video. And finally, but not least, because it's Wednesday, the update video. Oh, and also save your times. Don't know what number it is, but I'll check. Anyway, see you later, guys.